What's happening, Real Filmers? I'm here at 2015 San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm honored to have here with me Chris Sabat of Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. How's it going, man?
Hey, how are you, dude?
All right. So first off, can you tell me, here we are the last day of Comic-Con. Can you tell me what how San Diego's been treating you?
San Diego's awesome. The weather's been amazing. The reception for Resurrection F has been amazing, and I think the reception for Dragon Ball in general has been outstanding. It is such a trip to see Dragon Ball Z so big all over again. I mean, I felt like it never really disappeared, but man, it hasn't been this much of a fever since 2001 or something like that. Just remarkably cool to see so many people after all these years watch Dragon Ball Z when they were kids. They ran home from school every day, and now they're at conventions and they drive cars, and some of them have kids of their own. And so with these new movies, these adults are now able to introduce their next generation to Dragon Ball. So I'm seeing little kids who like it all over again, and dudes who are 26, and I hear the same phrase out of every single one of them, man. Hey, thank you for my childhood.
Right.
And I go, I had nothing to do with that, but I happen to be very close to it, so thanks for the compliment.
Okay, so with that being said, that's actually a good jumping off point. You know, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, I can go on and on, was a part of my childhood as well. So with that said, if we're taking a step back, looking backward, when you first had an opportunity to do the voices on the show, can you talk about what the inspiration was in bringing those voices to life?
Originally, our inspiration was the Canadian cast of Dragon Ball, because anyone who's watched the show knew that prior to around 1998, Funimation had experimented with recording episodes in Canada and
Right.
Vancouver with the Ocean Group.
Right.
And it became a really cost-prohibitive thing to do. They're having to fly to Canada all the time. They were having to use cast members, and they went through 2 or 3 different Gokus, and finally they thought, we just need to make this a local thing. So they decided to cast it all locally. And so our initial job was really to find people who could sound as close to the cast as possible so that fans wouldn't be as freaked out by it. And I could say that kind of worked a little bit. It took a little bit of time for people to get used to it. But now that we've been doing this for 10 years and we've already recorded all of it, and we've gone all the way back to the beginning, and we've doubled back up to where we were, I think a lot of people really, I'd say most people really love the cast, and everyone's super gracious. And none of us had any clue that we'd still be doing this now. Like, I hardly knew what Dragon Ball was. Because if you recall, like, this was pre-internet when internet was like not really an internet. Like, you would hardly call it that. It was like a very, very slow thing. If you wanted, there were no fan sites for Dragon Ball Z back in 1998. You couldn't really download much of a picture. And if you could find one, like, it would take all night to download it, just slowly. So none of us knew what the story was going to be or how long it was going to take us to do it and how successful it was going to be. And now we're starting to see kind of the results of all that really painful screaming.
Okay, so jumping right into Resurrection F, there's so much lore with Dragon Ball Z in general. So for those that, because everyone's picked up at a certain point, some people have been there since Dragon Ball, others since Dragon Ball Z, and then, people have been along for each of the movies following that. Right. Can you talk a bit about, the timeline and what, for those that may not be familiar with Resurrection F, what they can expect from it?
Resurrection F starts at a point where Dragon Ball Z left off. Because there were 3, there was Dragon Ball, then there Dragon Ball Z, and then Dragon Ball GT. Right. Dragon Ball GT was not necessarily supported by the creator of the show, Akira Toriyama. And so a lot of people liked it, and it was definitely well animated, and they had some really fun ideas, but a lot of people don't give it a lot of credit because the creator had no real part in it. So Resurrection F happens in a place that we're not sure if it happens exactly after the series has ended or where GT was. We're still trying to figure out where that is. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to have watched Dragon Ball Z, but I would say it would certainly be a good idea to watch a little bit of it, or at least bring somebody who's a fan of Dragon Ball to the movie, because I think you could enjoy it based on what it is alone. But there's so many interesting little references in it. Did you see Battle of Gods by chance? The first movie? Yeah. Okay, they introduced a new character named Beerus. Beerus is a weird-looking cat character,
Right.
and we're just starting to learn more and more about this guy. And in this movie, you learn that something very interesting about Beerus, because we've all assumed that Frieza was the one who destroyed Planet Vegeta, and you find out in this movie that Beerus actually had a weird hand in it too. So you're learning some new things about the series, and there's some really great gems in there for people who are really familiar with it. They have some characters and Android 18 and Krillin, and it just kind of means so much when you know the characters already. I think that's the thing that's beautiful about these films, is they use characters that everyone knows already. It's like going to see a Marvel movie now, an Avengers movie. You already know what all these characters are like. You're just waiting for them to do something kind of fun or cool together, and that's what working on Dragon Ball has been like lately.
All right, cool. We know that Dragon Ball Z comes out on August in August, correct? Or
Yeah, early August 4th through the 10th, at least right now.
Okay.
And the issue that people are having right now is that tickets are selling out really fast. It's a really unique way of handling a film release, but because Dragon Ball Z is not, it's not an Avengers movie or something like that. They are only able to get sort of a limited engagement. So they're at a limited number of theaters, like I think 1,000 theaters, which is still a pretty darn good run. But the cool thing about it is that they have the understanding that if people buy the tickets, they pre-order them, they start adding more theaters to it. So last year, everything sold out. People were having a hard time going to see it, and they were having to drive many, many miles to see it. So the recommendation is to go on to DragonBallZ.com, pre-order your tickets as soon as you can to make sure you secure a seat. And the cool thing is that the more people come out and purchase those tickets, the more it shows theater owners and large movie companies that, man, Dragon Ball Z is a force to be reckoned with. Already, Battle of Gods was almost unprecedented as to how many pre-sold tickets it had, and it's starting to look as if Resurrection F is going to well surpass that. It's amazing to see people really reacting to the Dragon Ball Z phenomenon and coming out to the theater and supporting it.
Cool, awesome. So now, as I said, now that Comic-Con is drawing to a close, what's up next? Not only in terms of Dragon Ball, but in terms of some of the other events that are going on throughout the year.
Man, the funny thing is we don't know where Dragon Ball is going. Like right now, as many people who are fans of Dragon Ball Z know, they just announced a new series called Dragon Ball Super in Japan, which technically continues the story from around the same place that the movie started. And I don't have any information about that yet, but it seems only likely that is a big thing in our future. And I guess episode 2 ran in Japan just a couple days ago. It was called Vegeta's Family Vacation, so I'm super stoked about it. So the future is really bright if it keeps going like this. I know there's supposed to be a One Piece movie next year, and I play Zoro in One Piece, if anyone's familiar with that show. 700 and something episodes into it now. I'm working on a few video games right now. I have a studio in Dallas. It's called Okratron 5000. Okay. And we work with a lot of the Dallas game developers and publishers. And we worked on the new Battleborn game. I don't know if you saw any of that out at the Petco Park. I play this really badass ninja dude named Wrath, who's super cool. He sounds a little bit like Vegeta, honestly, but I don't think people have a problem with it. He's a cool character.
Okay, all right. Well, there you have it, Real Filmers. Again, I'm here at 2015 San Diego Comic-Con. I have Chris Sabat here. I'm Brandon Troy. I'll see you soon.